Facebook and YouTube. So good morning, everybody. Good
Good
morning.
morning, good morning, sweetie. How you doing?
It's like good afternoon for you and I because we've been up so early.
Yeah,
It's almost like the afternoon time for us.
it's afternoon someplace.
Time for a siesta. Hey,
Someplace.
everybody. Welcome to our show again. My name is Regina. I just ate some breakfast. My name is Regina, and this is my handsome husband, Clovis. I just noticed I forgot my earrings.
Hmm.
Good morning. This is our Happy Marriage series. We have been talking about marriage and how we keep a happy marriage and sharing it with others for those of you who are just tuning in. If this is your first time on our show, we'd like to invite you to go back, check out all of our past videos, hit some comments, tell us what you think of the video, share the information, share our videos with others. And also remember, you can always tune in and join the conversation by joining in the chat right on the page where you are, having some comments and responses. Make sure you continue to keep them positive because if they're not, we will have to block you. Block. We have had to do that. But we want to make sure that everybody keeps a positive state of mind when joining and commenting on our shows, okay? Respect everywhere, all right?
Amen.
So today we are going to finish up our series where we're talking about the top 10 reasons why marriages fail.
Mm-hmm.
We discussed this, like we said in a past episodes, because we don't want your marriage to fail. So if you see that any of these things are happening in your marriage, you want to find a way to fix it so that you will not have a failed marriage and end up in divorce, but you would then have a great, happy marriage that will end up to be one that is everlasting and one that is to be admired. Let's jump into today's topic.
Mm-hmm.
I am going today to speak to you about this little subject. This is going to be our last one on this series. And the title is coming from slice.ca. We have been using these websites in this show. I have them here up on the screen. Slice.ca is a wonderful website for you to go and get some information about marriage and relationships and just a lot of self-information for people. And then we also use divorce.com. Divorce.com is a terrific website as well to get some information regarding marriages and things that, can be fixed in marriages. So these are the two websites that we pulled up from Google, and we've been using this on the show. So if you like to get the information that we were using, just go to those two websites. You can type in top 10 reasons why marriages fail, and you would get the information that we have in this show and the past shows. All right. So today we are talking babe, about this little issue.
Mm-hmm.
And this is in the slice.ca 10 reasons why marriages fail. This speaks of molehills become mountains. Molehills become mountains. Do you know what that is?
Molehills, just a little thing on the ground, I guess. The mountain is way up there.
Well, good analogy. And the simple form, the natural form,
molehill,
mountain. Well, that's the same effect when it comes to situations in your marriage. When you make something that's so small become something really big, and that's not necessary. It says here in slice.ca, it says here, molehills become mountains. Mm-hmm. This is a problem in marriage, and it says when issues, both big and small, are left unattended, that builds up, this buildup can lead to hostility. When you let stuff build up, whether it's small or whether it's big, you let stuff build up. Mm-hmm. It says keeping a tally on partners' errors, such as forgetting to unload the dishwasher or picking up the kids from gymnastics, can lead to resentment. Mm-hmm. When people keep tallies of that, all right? And it says to counter this, remember there are things you can do daily to be a happy couple, okay? Let's dive into this. Here's some things that some couples do, and I don't even know if they realize they're doing it. Mm-hmm. But like, say, for instance, if one of the spouses does something that's wrong, and then the other spouse gets so upset because they did it. And then, throughout their life, throughout the next day, throughout the next weeks, or even sometimes the next years, the person may do something else. Could be totally different. that other person, that other spouse will keep a tally and say, remember, you did this 10 years ago. Remember, you did this yesterday, or you did this. And it's every time that person does something, they're going to keep bringing up what they did.
Right.
Just keep bringing it up, bringing it up, bringing it up, bringing it up. And so you're making something that was so small turn into something that, you know, is so big.
Mhm.
Why not just handle the situation and don't try and keep tally on stuff?
Right.
You know, I think that's ridiculous.
Mhm.
I've even seen in some relationships where the husband kept a calendar of the things that the wife did wrong, and so that he could go back on his little paper calendar and see the things that she did wrong, and then he would bring it out to her when he would have discussions. Okay, on October 3rd, you did this, and on November 2nd, you did the exact same thing. About 2 p.m. on December 12th, you did this. And it's like, but here's the kicker to that. He never put any of the things on his calendar what he did. Mm-hmm. He only put the things on the calendar what she did.
Right.
And then when he would have the conversation, he'd bring this calendar out and have this conversation with her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't have a calendar.
You better believe you ain't got no calendar. No calendar in this house.
You do things in a marriage. If you come up on a bump in the road or something, just try to handle it then before spiral out of control.
Yeah.
And then if someone, one of you do something that's the other person don't like, and you try to explain to them, say, hey, sweetie, you did this, and I remember you did this yesterday or a couple of days ago, or blah, 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 blah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's good. And I think what happened is when you continue to have someone live the same thing that they did, not only are you not getting over it, but you're not allowing the other person to get over it. Mm-hmm. And if neither of you are going to get over it, then why stay in the marriage?
Right.
Because somebody at one point needs to just say, listen, let's find a way to resolve this, get over it, and move on. Because you don't want that to be something like a string of weight that holds your marriage back, right? Mm-hmm. Or something that you can't go forward because you keep stumbling over this, like you said, this stumbling block. You keep stumbling over the same thing. And so your marriage can't build up because you're so busy trying to hold on to something that you should have let go years ago.
Yeah, you can't build if you keep, stay on the same level.
Right, that's true.
Building up.
Right. You need to build on better things that's going to help the marriage to grow. And I understand sometimes people say, well, I told my husband 10 times to take the dishes out of the dishwasher and he won't do it. Or I told my wife 10 times to take the clothes out of the dryer and she hasn't done it. When am I going to, have a conversation? If they did it and they keep doing it, then maybe you need to have a deeper conversation as to why is it that I repeatedly have to tell you or ask you, because we shouldn't be telling each other anything. We're all adults. But why does I have to keep asking you to do the same thing over and over? Have that conversation. And maybe you'll find out they don't do it because they don't want to do it.
Maybe you got to change your chores.
Change the chores.
Give them something else to do. Maybe say, I'll take that one. You do something else.
But there are ways to have a happy marriage and still have some things in your marriage that you disagree on. Mm-hmm. And you can still have that happy marriage. And like my husband said, we might just have to change up some things that we do. My husband and I, when we go out a lot of times, my husband's a driver. He loves driving. Me, I can drive. I drive fine.
Do you?
I knew it was coming. Listen, I drive fine. But my husband, when we first got married, I would drive and my husband would sometimes sit in the passenger seat. Then after we were like, had been married for a few years or so, my husband decided, listen, let me just do the driving. I'm going to drive. And I was like, okay, but I need to drive too. I can drive. And there was a little discussion. Well, why can't I drive? So I didn't want to continue to have these debates on who's going to drive. We're both standing outside the car saying, no, I'm driving. No, he's saying he's driving. So I wanted to get on the road and go somewhere. I didn't want that to stall our marriage, and I didn't want it to stall me from going to where we were trying to get to. And I didn't want to be late to whatever event we were going to. So what I decided to do was to stop the debate And for us to get our marriage continuing to go, I just would just go to the passenger side, get in the car, and enjoy the ride.
The usual.
Let me just get in the car.
You know what side to go on.
I'm not going to sit here and debate with you all day, and we got to be somewhere in an hour, and we're in this Atlanta traffic. I'm not going to do that. I'd rather get to the party, have fun. And if I have to be driven, let me be driven to the party. You know, I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth and all that. And I'm not going to run to the car and try and be the first one to get in the driver's seat. And because you probably stand out there and say, well, I'm not moving till you get out the driver's seat. But we're not going to do those kind of things. So I just decided, listen, I love my husband more than I want to argue. So let me just get in this passenger seat. And then what I did was I said, I'm going to make this something good for me, because I just sit back, push my seat all the way back, stretch my legs out, get my little phone, and just enjoy the ride while I'm driving. I just enjoy the ride. I don't try and tell him how to drive. I don't try to make him go the direction I want him to go, because that's what some people do also. They're like, okay, I'm going to let you do it. But then when you're doing it, they're trying to tell you how to do it.
It's not the way to go.
No, that, backseat drivers, street drivers, sidecar drivers are worse than those backseat drivers. So I don't do that. I'm not going to add added pressure to the marriage by adding added little things, molehills. I just sit back and I find a way to enjoy myself. Swiping. Watch my movies. And while he's driving, enjoying it, and I just find a way to enjoy it, and we have a good time at it. So there are some people that would make that into an argument all the way to the event.
Right.
They would argue, well, why wouldn't you let me get in the car and drive? Why can't I drive? Why do you always have to be the one to drive? Blah, blah. Listen, you're going to ruin the mood before you get out of the garage. No, enjoy it, right?
Enjoy
Have that good time. Listen, it's a long ride in that traffic. Yeah. Oh, no, I jump in the passenger seat quick when it goes to that.
10 minutes? Okay. I'll drive. 5 hours? Are you tired?
Oh, no. Listen, when he's going on those long rides, there's no debate. I'm very happy to get in the passenger seat. Right? But when he's going on those short rides, I'm like, I can do it. And he's like, no. So I've gotten to the point now where I ask him before we even get in the car, babe, you want me to drive? The majority of the time, his answer is going to be no. There are very few times where he'll say, yeah, drive. And I'll just go ahead and drive. Here's another thing. You're right, Holy Spirit. I don't do this. Oh, so now you want to let me drive? I don't do that. Oh, so now? Oh, what? You tired? Something wrong with you? No. What I do, babe?
So, okay.
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 All right. Let's go. And then when I get in the driver's seat and my husband gets in the car in the passenger seat, he does hold on.
Fasten your seatbelt. Going for a ride. Humpty Bumpty Bumpty.
But what he doesn't do is he doesn't say, watch out, where are you going? What are you doing? He doesn't do that. He just sits there and he's like, okay, but he's holding on. He's holding on, and we get in the car and we go. And sometimes I'll have to ask him directions because my husband doesn't like using the GPS. I think it's a man thing.
I use the GPS.
Yeah?
Yeah, the first time I'm going someplace, but if I've been there 2 or 3 times, then I know which way I'm going, so I don't really need the GPS.
Yeah.
But if I'm first time around, usually I get the GPS out and get that address going.
Yeah, but he really doesn't like using it, like he said, that often. Me, I'll put the GPS in to go to the corner store. Okay, let's go around the corner. But my husband doesn't like using the GPS as often. But men, I think, remember roads a lot better than than some women. I won't say all women because I don't want to be in that category. But men, the men that I've been around, I'll say, can remember directions so good. My brother Ben, I call him the human GPS. Ben will remember roads in his mind. Listen, he could be in Florida. He was in Florida one time, and I was here in Georgia, and I was driving to show a property to a client, and my GPS went out. It just shut down, and I didn't know where I was. I called Ben, and Ben said, "Okay, sis, what street are you on?" He said, "Tell me the cross streets." And I told him the cross streets. He says, "Okay, go up this way, go up this way." He knew exactly where to go, and he was in Florida. And I was all the way in Georgia. And no, he didn't have a GPS. He just remember, the streets and stuff. Hey, Norma says this. She said, "I think all men hate women driving." I think a large majority of them do, Norma. I think they do. I have to agree with Norma on that. But back to the topic that we're talking about today. Stop making small things big things in your marriages when it comes to having disagreements, or when your mate or spouse does something that you don't like. Listen, stop having little adult tantrums. Why are you doing this? And you always do this. Why is it that we can talk to each other so nice and sweet when we're dating, and then when we get in serious relationships or even into marriage, we forget all that nice sugar talking and we go into mean, nasty talking to each other?
Turn to the corner.
Why is that?
No. They get too familiar with the person. Maybe so.
But I think if I'm more familiar with you, it means that I'm more loving to you. I love you more, and I want to hurt you less.
Maybe the person might think he knows you enough to know what he can get away with and what they can't get away with.
But is that right?
Doesn't make it right.
It doesn't make it right. It does not make it right. It's like you have a new friend and you're very nice and sweet to your friend, and then when you become, friends for years, then you feel like you can just treat your friend any kind of way. No, that we shouldn't be doing that to each other.
Not at all.
No, we should not be. And like you said, some people get real comfortable with one another, and they feel like in their comfort they can treat these people this way. Listen, I don't think there should be any time in any relationship, friendship or marriage, that a conversation with that person makes them feel belittled. I don't think that should happen at all. I really don't. I think that people, when you're having conversations with one another, whether they're your longtime friend, whether they're your husband, whether they're your new girlfriend or your new boyfriend, conversations should be respectful.
Amen.
All the way around. You should speak to people the way you want them to speak to you. And if you are a person that you love people yelling and screaming at you and calling you all kind of foul names, then go right ahead and receive it from somebody else. But if you're that person that is like, listen, I don't want to be spoken to and disrespected like that in any conversation, then don't do it to somebody else, because you're going to get what you give. You're going to receive what you give. A lot of people, oftentimes they say, well, why is it that, you're yelling at me or you're screaming at me? Just, if those people are like that, and there are going to be a lot of people that are like that, that they're going to yell, they're going to scream, they're going to be nasty. You don't have to fall into that same category of how they treat you.
Right.
You could be the difference. You could be the different, what they call like a benefactor, different. You could be just a different whole atmosphere. Give them something to look at, to model after.
Right.
Give them something that they can see. They'll be saying, hey, I yelled and screamed at her and made her, tried to make her feel bad. And all along she kept her calm, and she was, calm and collected. It's to be admired, something like that. I mean, we do it in business, when you're at work. And those clients may yell at you, but if you yell back at them, you're going to lose that job.
Or lose the client. Yeah.
So, hey, do that in your friendship. If you yell and scream at them, you might lose that friendship. And especially do it in your marriage. If you continue to yell and scream at that person, then you might lose that marriage. So, have a conversation. Something small happened, have a conversation, but just be sure if you have the right calm conversation,
Amen
right?
to that.
Don't make it into a big molehill. And some things, sometimes we see them because people view things different. One person may view a little thing as something large,
Mm-hmm.
and another person may view that little thing as something small. But I don't think we should negate each other's feelings.
Right.
Like if you see it as small and I see it as big, I shouldn't tell you you're wrong.
Yeah.
Because that's the way you see it. And I have to be considerate of your feelings,
Mm-hmm.
and vice versa. And so
then you'd have to explain to the person why you think it's
right,
big to you. It's a big
a situation
big,
to you, and
right.
to me it may seem minuscule.
Right.
And but then you have that conversation, and a large majority of the time when you end up having those conversations with each other, you find sometime that it's something deeper rooted. Like we spoke about this in some of our past videos. When you have that conversation with someone, if they see it as something very huge and you're like, I don't even see it as such a big deal. Why is it such a big deal? If you have that conversation, you might find out that there's something in their past that happened that it's a trigger point.
Right.
It's a trigger point for them. So have that conversation. And while you're having that conversation, and when they bring out maybe what truly is the triggering point to it, you could sympathize with them and you could understand where they're coming from. And now you have the opportunity with that spouse to nurture them and to let them know, I'm never going to be that person that did that to you or had you feel that way in the past. And now that I know this part about you, I'm going to make sure that I'm your protector so that it, so you don't feel that way. So now you can come in as that, what the married couples are supposed to do. We're supposed to protect each other, protect each other's feelings, make sure that each other feels secure. I was thinking this morning, with my husband had to go out to an early morning appointment. I'm so glad he was able to make it back in time for the show. But I was thinking, when you have a spouse, especially if you work outside the home or vice versa, you may work in a home where you don't see each other, and you have a hard day at work, and you may have been in a business field where people are beating up on you all day. You can't argue back, and you just feel so beat up. You want to be able to have that spouse where you can go and you can be like, listen, I just need to hide with you. Kind of like you just hide behind them and you just say, I just need that shelter, to feel comfortable. I just need to know that you're my protector. Let me just get back here and just hide. Or either they will get, or, the husband will come and just hug the wife and say, listen, I'm here. I got you.
Right.
I got you. You want to have that spouse to be that person. You don't want to go to work and get beat up all day and then come home and get beat up over something that we see as small or the other one may see as big.
You go to work and get
beat
up.
That. You go to work.
Come home and you want to be in the comfort. Somebody that loves you and care about you, and someone you can talk to, and get back on the right track.
Yeah, that you want that spouse to be able to build you up so that you can go back tomorrow to work, because you got to go back.
Maybe.
Maybe. But you want that spouse to be your comfort. You don't want to come home and argue, especially over something that you see as small.
Right.
You want to have that comfort in them, that when the world beats you up, you can come home and know that your husband or your wife is going to love you right through all those pains, mend you back together, get you ready to go for the next day, so that you would have enough strength and energy so you be able to go into that office, take those blows if you have to take them again, and come on back home to mama or papa, hubby or wife.
That's right.
And also your spouse may love you so much through the situations that you go through, that when you go back to that office or out there in the world or whatever you have to deal with, they may give you so much love and so much care and so much love that when you go and those people start yelling and screaming at you, you can just sit there and smile, because you can know my baby's got me covered when I get back home.
Amen.
So you don't have to be mad during the whole day. You can just smile. Your coworkers look at you and say, how do you smile after that person just fussed you from A to Z? Because I'm going home to my husband.
Amen.
I'm going home to my wife.
Hallelujah.
Amen, right?
Amen to that.
That's right. So don't make things that are a little thing into a mountain, a little molehill. into a mountain in your relationship, not only in your marriage relationship, but this is great advice for friendships. This is great advice for coworkers. This is great advice for a lot of people. Just don't have things that are so small to turn into something that's so large.
Yeah.
It's much easier to get rid of a molehill than it is to cut down and get rid of a mountain.
Amen.
Right? So build up your marriage, your relationship. Make sure that things in your marriage are going to have the other mate, the spouse, your mate, whichever, to be strengthened so that they can get through things in life. We never know really fully what our spouses are going through when they're not with us. We don't always know what they're going through, what their day is like. Hey, Claudia, how you doing today? And Norma's online here too. Good morning, Claudia, or good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. And again, good morning to Norma. Norma's on here live with us today. Good morning, Norma. Stay blessed out there. Thank y'all so much for joining. Hey, Bishop is online today. Bishop Norwood, we love you. Thank you so much for joining us. He says, good morning, my friend. We love y'all. We love Bishop too.
Yes, we do.
We love Bishop. Thank you again for joining us today. Bishop has his show, his recharge in the afternoon recharge. His information is in the link. Make sure that you go to his website. You see his channel right there on Facebook. Click on that at 12 noon and Bishop is going to be live.
Amen.
I know. Bishop and his wife, Miss Ermatine, is such great people. And also Norma is such a great support on our Facebook page as well. She's a wonderful person. Her and her husband are great people as well. Norma and her husband are a married couple too. We'll probably have them on the show one day too. We'd ask Bishop and his wife as well because these are wonderful couples as well.
Amen.
Amen. So we want to thank you all for joining us today. We've had so much fun with this topic of the top 10 reasons why marriages fail. We're going to start another series, which we think is going to really enlighten and help marriages out there. We've already went through the things that can destroy a marriage with the top 10 reasons why marriages fail. And we don't want marriages to fail. That's the reason why we brought it on here. But guess what? Next week, we're coming up with something brand new. And it is this. I'm so excited. It is 10 things that you can do daily to be a happy married couple.
Yeah.
So we're going to start that series coming up here. We'll try and get it on tomorrow, starting at 10 a.m. Remember, we're not on anymore on Saturdays. We're coming to you live Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. right here on the channel that you're watching right now. Join the conversation by joining in the chats, by posting your comments, and we'll give you a shout out on the show. We want to say thank you to all of you who have been tuning in to us and enjoying our show and commenting on the show. We're so grateful for you joining us. Share this platform. We want to spread the word of this platform to other people, and we want to hear from you just like you're hearing from us right now. We want to hear from them as well. So share this on your platforms as well so that we can get other married couples and single people, because this show is not just for single people. For married people, is also for single people, because we want them to get into marriages from the start good.
Sure
We want you to start off good, right? We don't want you to get into something and then you're saying, okay, Lord, how do I get out of it? You know, we want, once you get into marriage, that it'd be great. And you want to stay into that marriage. So make sure you check out all of our past episodes if you haven't checked them all out, so that you can have that great information of how you can have a happy married couple as well, just like my husband and I and several other couples that are out there. You don't have to be looking at a married couple and say, I wish I had that. You can have it. And you could be that couple that people are looking at saying, I wish I had what they have. Right?
Glory.
Love y'all for watching. We're going to run today. We've got several appointments we have to take care of. We're going to have an episode on that too. Married couples that work together. Because we do.
Yes.
Yeah, we do. And we still have a happy married life.
Sure enough.
You didn't say that too enthusiastically.
Sure enough.
Love y'all for joining today. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Stay blessed.
Day.
All right. Bye.